Welcome back to NTV News First Edition. Newfoundland and Labrador has now opened up COVID-19 vaccine eligibility to all individuals in the province aged 12 and over. Now, while no one typically enjoys receiving a needle, it is estimated that roughly 10 to 30% of the population have more significant needle fears that have prevented them from getting vaccines in the past. Well, on tonight's edition of Get Psyched with Dr. Janine, we're going to learn why this fear is so common, and Dr. Janine will have some tips on making coping easier. Joining us live in our studio, of course, Dr. Janine Hubbard. Thank you. So nice to see you again.
Oh, thanks as always for having me.
So, you know, although there is maybe a little bit of pain and discomfort sometimes involved with a needle, why are so many of us so fearful of them?
Well, listen, you know, nobody enjoys a needle, but what happens is because it's something that for most of us, we don't encounter very often. For a lot of it's maybe once a year, maybe twice. For people who have a really strong fear, it could have been years since they had a vaccine. And what we know about fearful things is the longer we avoid them, the bigger we build them up in our mind, so that as opposed to it being a brief moment of, you know, a little sting, a little prick, a little residual sore shoulder, we build it up in our minds as to being something, you know, kind of catastrophic. If you're someone who has to have needles on a daily basis, you very quickly realize that, all right, it's not really anything that I have to worry about.
Are there things we can do, though, before an appointment, say our COVID-19 vaccine appointment, to make it all a little easier?
Yes, absolutely, and that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight. There are loads of things that you can be doing ahead of time. The biggest thing is determine what kind of coping style do you have. For needles, generally people fall into one of two extremes. It's either the tell me every single step you're doing and I want you to give me advance warning before anything happens, or it's the tell me when you're done. I'm a tell me when you're done girl. And so, but once you realize that, it makes going into the process earlier, because then you can do practice. If you're a step-by-step person, you want to go online, you want to look at videos, you want to find out examples, maybe even want to practice, get an alcohol wipe so you know what it feels like and smells like. If you're a distracted coper, are you someone who does well carrying on a conversation? Do you want the person to talk to you? Do you want to just listen to music? Know your coping style and practice a couple of those deep breaths, because we're going to talk about those next.
Okay, so what can we do during the actual appointment to make it less frightening?
Well, first of all, again, know your coping style. I gather some of these lineups have been very social and there's lots of people chit-chatting and having a grand old time. If that's going to relax you, great. If that's going to stress you out, put those earphones on. Let the individual who's giving you your vaccine know that you are nervous, and let them know what your coping strategy is. And they are experts at this, and they will help make whatever style you need works. But the biggest single tip you can do is the more relaxed your shoulder muscles are, the less painful it's going to be. So if you can imagine you're blowing out the candles on that cake, and a lot of us, again, who are getting them these days have lots of candles on the cake. Big breath. Huge release, and let that shoulder muscle relax, and it'll be in and out and done before you know it.
We are practically out of time, but I want to give you an opportunity for one maybe takeaway message for our viewers.
I know that this is really scary for a lot of people, but what we need to remember is it is a small moment of discomfort that is going to be good for our physical health, it's going to be good for our community health, and it's going to help our province and our country get back to normal.
And that's the best way to get this vaccine. Thank you so much, Dr. Janine, for coming in tonight.
Anytime.